and of course the captain of the Super Falcons, Evelyn Onwaboku, was also present, and of course Nollywood stars are also part of this initiative. All right, so from there, let's go on to the next one. Onye, the countdown to the World Cup, Kunle, is on, and a lot of countries today name their squad. But before we talk about England particularly, and also talk about Ghana, that we are expecting their squad list to be named any moment from now, let's talk about the countdown. 30 days now to the World Cup. Now officially, a month from now, the game begins, Kunle.
Yeah, of course, we are just counting down to the biggest soccer fiesta in the world. And of course, the excitement, the atmosphere all over the countries that are going to be participating.
Even those not participating?
Yes, the excitement is...
Well, it's a lot better to be a participant.
Of course. And, you know, just like you said, so many countries are beginning to get prepared, bring out their list. And, of course, Brazil also getting everything set to ensure that we have a very, very wonderful World Cup. We are just waiting, and before we know it, I know the day will come and the hostilities will begin.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about countries now getting ready. Well, whether we like it or not, Nigeria leads the way in terms of showing how to get ready for the World Cup. People say, yes, we named the 30-man squad, but the fact that we were one of those countries, the first set to name a professional squad, shows that maybe we are one step or two ahead of others. But today, the focus was on England. And I'm sure you have details of what happened in England. Just like in Nigeria, some players felt they should be there, they are not there. Some players that people feel shouldn't be there, that are there. Yeah. Everywhere.
Notable absentees, Ashley Cole of Chelsea, Michael Carrick.
And Ashley Cole looks like he has announced his international retirement.
Before today's unveiling of the squad. And I think what Roy Hodgson wants to do is to guard against the exhaustion that normally affects the players from England
at the end of the season.
At the end of the season. So he has named, even though a relatively inexperienced side, but mostly young players. Only 6 players, were at the last World Cup. Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, and he explained that Lampard is a role model to the squad. That he included him. People will be saying that he too is old. He said he included him because he wanted Lampard to guide these young players when the World Cup starts. I mean, if you have players like Oxlade Chamberlain, you have the other players from. Of course, he named 23-man squad.
The final squad, no.
He only placed some players on standby.
Yeah,
7 players.
Yeah, because the story was that Ashley Cole rejected being on standby.
Absolutely.
If
I were in his shoes, I will do the same. Having been to the World Cup, you don't want to be on standby.
I've been a regular.
Just tell me that
I'm not in the team. But people look at Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole is still top quality. He still plays at the highest level, and has been one of the most consistent players for the Three Lions. Down the line.
Yeah, he has been very fantastic for Three Lions over the years. But if you look at his performance at Chelsea,
and the fact that he doesn't command
the regular since Jose Mourinho took over, you want to say that yes, the decision to actually put him on standby, of course, or even taking him out of the team is well deserved. I think the players that made it to the World Cup from England are actually well deserved. Remember a player like Ross Barkley, that fantastic player he had a very wonderful season for Everton. Chamberlain and all the other top players that were in this team really deserves to be there.
All right, so the Three Lions, what do you see? Every time they expect so much from the team, they find a way of falling short of expectation. But now that this man has decided to forget about the top stars, go for young stars who have a lot of energy, during the World Cup, what do you see? The Three Lions?
John Barnes said something that was quite instructive. I think about 2 weeks ago. He said the English press, had a problem they have in England. They put a lot of pressure on the team. They overhired the team, and that the English people should, be moderate in their expectation. This is a team. He has named a relatively inexperienced team, perhaps looking ahead to the future. But that is not saying they cannot spring some surprise. They have, just like Kunle said, they have players like Ricky Lambert that have had good season. These players will also have something to prove. Raheem Sterling from Liverpool was phenomenal this season. He can carry that form to the World Cup. This is what we are expecting from the English team.
All right, let's leave England alone and come closer home, gentlemen. Let's come home and go just across the border. Our neighbors, the Black Stars of Ghana, have also named a 26-man squad for the World Cup. 23 and 3 players, 26. So only 3 players will drop off from the list of 26 named by Coach Kwesi Appiah. Of course, the big absentee will be John Mensah, who a lot of people felt his experience and the fact that he's still playing actively. Something of a Joseph Yobo to Nigeria is what John Mensah is to Ghana. But the coach didn't name John Mensah.
Yeah, we know a coach in person of Kwesi Appiah is a man that sticks to his words. If he doesn't believe in some certain players, even if you're playing well for your club and he doesn't believe that you can actually make things happen for the Black Stars, he would definitely drop. Remember how he was able to manage, even despite the fact that some players, he decided not to invite the Ayew brothers to the national team for the Nations Cup. And at the end of the day, he still went ahead and posted a remarkable performance at the African Cup of Nations. And they came back and they reconciled the likes of the Montari and came back into the team. I think the coach knows his onions, he knows what he's doing, and I believe that this is the best players that the Ghanaians have at the moment to really get the job done.
What has been a problem area for Ghana only has been the goalkeeping department. Kwesi Appiah refused to call up Richard Kingston, naming that goalkeeper Achan, who was an outstanding goalkeeper for the country. Stephen Adams, of course, Fatal Dauda, who is with Orlando Pirates, who is a reserve goalkeeper in Orlando Pirates, got named as well. So this man is also taking plenty of risks, just like our own Stephen Keshi.
Yeah, Richard was very good. I mean, I watched him at the Wafu tournament before Chan, and it was quite exceptional. Stephen Adams, quite exceptional. But I think Kwesi Appiah is also, there is life beyond the World Cup. You have to
your team, working on your team.
Absolutely.
You know, the World Cup is the ultimate.
I mean, if you look at even the best players are already tipping some countries. Let us not delude ourselves. You know, there are some favorites. To win the World Cup. If Ghana wins, it will be an upset. You know, but he is looking at the future. And the cases you are talking about, you know, some of them are getting old. They are getting old. So you need, you know, and the places for goalkeepers are limited. You need to, you know, give them confidence that they can do it, and by the time they keep on going, they will have that confidence.
Before I come to you, Kunle, let me just say something about what Ghana is doing. I mean, maybe what Ghana is doing should be like a lesson for Nigeria. I'm talking in terms of the call-up of goalkeepers. The first choice for Ghana, Fatal Dauda. I mean, he's not a regular. He's a reserve goalkeeper in Orlando Pirates. Adams Parase is also not very active. Stephen Adams is home-based. And Nigeria, we have Vincent, top goalkeeper, Ejide, top goalkeeper, arguments about whether it's fit or not. And everybody wants to crucify Chigozie Agbim and Daniel Akpeyi for making the squad. We look a lot better in that department than Ghana.
Yeah, Toyin, I think that's that's why it's very imperative that we don't castigate Stephen Keshi about the list of players he released. The coaches have their choices. If Kwesi Appiah feels that Dauda and others who are not playing regularly for their clubs are the people that will make things happen for him at the World Cup, so there's no problem about that. There are some certain coaches that believe in some certain players, even if their contemporaries are playing very well for their respective clubs, they still prefer the players. Remember, even in the German team, the coach opted to drop a player like Mario Gomez and
took an injured guy who has been injured, Sami Khedira, for the last 6 months.
Brought him. So the coaches have their choice of players and the reason why they prefer to work with some players.
All right, let's leave that issue for a while. Probably when more squads are named, we'll be able to revisit all of these issues. Let's talk about Nigeria now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we want to pick out a player and talk about him. Ike Uche, that's the player under focus. And the reason we want to talk about Ike Uche is to reflect on his positive disposition, his matured and professional attitude to being dropped by coach Stephen Keshi. You know the story around Ike Uche and the stories in the media about his not being tactically disciplined and all of that. But after he was dropped, the reaction of Ike Uche, top class. Yeah. Top class. Ike Uche says, I spoke to the coach 2 weeks before the World Cup squad was named to clarify certain things written and said in the media. It was a very good discussion, and it gives me great pleasure that there is no ill will towards anyone. I thank the coach for that and I wish my teammates the best in Brazil. And he says, as a professional player, you want to be at the World Cup, but not everybody can be called up by the coach. And he says he wants all Nigerians to rally support for the team and make sure they don't fail in Brazil. Coming from a player that has been vilified and has been talked down on and all of that, for me, very impressive.
Yeah, I was absolutely impressed with